Peace FM 104.3. Good to meet you.
Me say Anka Meka Ura Justice Atuk, but I think it's a running story and the major.
Okay.
There is this story via, I think it's more like a rejoinder by a company via from Frontier Health Care Services.
Airport for.
Yes. I think their rejoinder has done more damage, and I personally feel even more incensed at their response than Omankashi no cry.
I think I asema.
Say when COVID-19 hit, and there was a need to do certain things at the airport, and testing of travelers are no muba or my imu, and companies be by and almost started to muye jumano. But you see, I am running the juma. Any idea lawyer for due process, and found tibia yumu. Se ube ye bibia ese efano kwanso. Send at the end of the day, government will get value for money. Na ye dim rasusu pepepe. Sa frontiers we. There have been allegations say they were not working with a proper contract. And secondly, and of course, events subsequent to those allegations naturally say difficult to even pinpoint where the contract is and who indeed signed the contract with our company. And there is also information say company only in 2020. Now say if we share a public procurement act now, it shows circumstances under which are like when there are emergency situations, kwanya efforts to the procurement, now sometimes and the circumstances under which are so sourcing near any kind of emergency and near also when there's only a particular entity I was has specialized skills and expertise and competence to undertake the task and new person. But Yenim said there are a lot of laboratories in this country. Juma. And it could not be said frontiers unkwana was our expertise, to undertake testing of travelers as far as COVID-19 testing was concerned. And Yebisa Minister for Information say contracts when signing or Yebisa Minister for Health. Or also, there was a rigmarole. Like Unkrofu Omoni sa company signing contract and recently
I was saying
no unless you have that public information I don't. Now saying there was also concern about value for money, and in every public investment idea you should always look out for is value for money. There was concern say government was shortchanged the process.
Okay.
As I say Sikana company nyaye no kakre bi na ban nyaye nti if during emergency na ye tua sika to get those services, at least government should be making some good money from it. Until recently there were allegations that aban enye sika no ana aban nya kituwe bi out of sasika pudo na as company nyaye no, and am sunti no modi rejoinder biaba, and I think the rejoinder is even look ignoring the fact say their choice of words, they refer to Nkrofo who have raised these concerns as anti-people, anti-government, and they are mischievous, all kinds of.
Frontiers for
no. You should read their rejoinder. It's in bad taste. It is terribly worded. What has here? And we should just their response is no crying kumino. Nedi kind of concern about say Yenyanhu contract in their response to the award of contract, they've not been able to indicate to us indeed there was a contract signed between Frontiers Healthcare Services, any buying, and who the signatories were. All they have said is say in the phase of COVID-19, any buying desired to do testing, they submitted a proposal to Ghana Airport Company Limited. So Omudi Tio Omanka said they signed the contract. So Omudi proposal Ghana Airport Company Limited, and Airport Company Limited approved that proposal, and then they deployed machines to the borders.
So who
is that how it works?
Who asked them to possess the site?
What's it?
So only Ghana Airport Company Limited na the proposal and command. And a Ghana Airport Company study proposal, no?
Yeah.
And was here, who okayed the transaction? Why the man?
Is there even a transaction? Who the proposal above said, "Oh, I've approved this proposal," and immediately, without any contractual agreement, you move to the borders.
And I'm busy.
It had to be Ghana Airport Company.
Why the man no quite unco possess site no in the first place?
I would suspect Ghana Airport Company because omu control airport. No,
Ghana Airport must speak to this.
Exactly.
They must give us the clarity.
They are refusing to speak because a journalist from one of the stations in Accra, Joy FM, their friend Raymond Akwa, wrote to them under the Right to Information Act, requiring a production of the contract that entitled Frontiers to set up and to work in the airport. Onim said they refused to give because there's no existing from near Frontiers for Kra, there's no contract until they couldn't produce, and they asked for a week's extension.
So you know for a fact, said there is no contract.
There is no contract, otherwise we would have found it by now.
So now let's say that we are not privy to the existence of any contract.
That is the situation now.
Okay.
And I'm Sukrama RTI Commission no. I'm finding Ghana Airport Company Limited. Because yes, because they requested for sebi. It's a contract or why would producing such a document be difficult? After since February, the request was made in February. And ne ochina Ekodru Pempenswana Atia Kacha say you've exhausted all you can say opportunities to produce this. And asking for a 1 week extension, no, and no until they find them, even though they eventually granted the 1 week extension, no, but they find no 200,000. That tells you say something is amiss, and to the extent the ministers what the content of the contract is, who signed the contract and so on. It tells you something is wrong. And Frontiers way more explanation. If you look at under the subheading, award of contract, Sanka, you would expect to see say a mention of a contract that was signed and who the signatories were. Oman can't say they signed the contract too. They merely state say Omo the proposal Ekoma GACL and Omo approve the contract proposal no, and then they moved to site. What be that? Ghana, you see anything to do with public procurement? What I say, and because yentimi who contract chrono, it is difficult for us to even say, oh, sikana yesi omoji yeno, omuma banka krano. It is because of the contract, because there's no contract for you to even speak to. Now, if there's an issue like this, now Ube respond there. Okay, you choose words in a way.
Maybe we need to do a little check because Mekai said, Sir Jumaku, we are no musica, once and be by Emma, your friend, health minister, our parliament.
Yes.
Emma Okoma breakdown be. But men Kaiser can contract us. What I remember,
they asked him about contract one Timianka. Okay. Or see here they should refer to the
maybe we have to refer to
the Minister for Information or see Minister for Health. And I didn't know any namsa, and you cannot.
Maybe we have to look for the
it is not for fun. Until the Procurement Act by and to the extent said this is a company that did not have prior experience. Now so in their response they claim said this is a company with cutting edge expertise in laboratory testing. Meanwhile, that company was founded only in the year COVID-19 is here. No,
they are not a subsidiary.
Debbie.
Okay.
There's no indication of any subsidiary. They are not a subsidiary of any major company. I think say
running stories no.
Okay.
Now from now till maybe next week now you be share no.
Well,
okay,
right now there is a petition before the OSP. I was actually thinking of doing same, but it's like Obidia Kodada. I think say there should be multiple agencies doing an investigation on this matter.
And I make us say, until from now to next week, now if there is a petition before the OSP, let's also go after that.
Yeah.
Then one of the things a bit, let's also go and look for the Hansard from Parliament the day the minister went to Parliament.
Appeared very well.
Yes, our documents.
I mean, these are all documents.
And yes, sir, for intents and purposes, a beer. Now document be or and then we may argue.
See, the only document that would speak to these issues air contracts.
That's what I'm saying.
And it doesn't exist. Nobody has been able to produce it.
For now, let's assume that we have not seen it until you are only assuming. And today,
no, of course.
By the time we come back, by the time we come back next week, we'll be able to speak authoritatively to say, Ampa, contract be anyhow and our contract.
You see, the only way you can speak authoritatively to the existence or otherwise of a contract and say obidi mra kwanso atra mamu say if there's a contract, produce it.
I think I say here none next week contract.
Matthias here, but I just wanted to say if you are debunking allegations that people have raised not out of malice, but they feel there are so many questions surrounding this, and the mamin kind of mobile of no. That be
a free consultation. You ever can want some next week do the save your energy. Save your energy. Mami Mr. Wolf.
This FM 104.3. Good to meet you.